Former President Trump back in the district this morning, expected to appear at a hearing before the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit Court coming up in just a few minutes. We have live team coverage for you this morning. Bob has been on Trump arrival watch throughout the morning. Our chief legal correspondent, Katie Barlow, is live with what's happening in the court. So let's start there, Katie, as to what we can expect this morning.
Well, good morning, Steve, and welcome to what is often referred to as the second most important court in the land. It's called the D.C. Circuit. It has sent 4 of the sitting Supreme Court justices just up the street here to the Supreme Court. And you can kind of think of this morning's oral argument as a practice round for a question that will ultimately likely be resolved by the Supreme Court. This morning, the court will hear oral argument on whether President Trump is immune, absolutely immune from federal criminal prosecution. He says he can't be criminally prosecuted for acts that he took while he was in office. Special counsel Jack Smith's argument, of course, that he can be prosecuted for those acts, and in fact got a federal judge to agree with him. Judge Tanya Chutkan, who's overseeing that criminal case and would ultimately oversee a criminal trial, said that the president is not absolutely immune. Now, former President Trump appealed that question, and that is what the 3-judge panel is going to hear in that building behind us later this morning, starting at 9:30. Now, there's live audio of the oral argument, so if you want to listen along, you can certainly do that. But, of course, we'll have updates right here on Fox 5 DC.
Here we go. Yeah, I'm getting out of the way right away. Hey guys,
Bob,
I don't know if you're on me.
This
is Bob Barnard here. Yeah, hi, Katie. We're here right at the intersection of Pennsylvania Avenue and 3rd Street, awaiting the former president's arrival. You're looking north here on 3rd Street from Pennsylvania Avenue, and you can see D.C. police have closed things off here. Last time the former president was in court, we were right up there at the top of the crest of the hill there. And I don't know if you can see on either side of the street, D.C. Public Works has snowplow trucks there for extra security. A lot of D.C. police, some Capitol police are off to the side here, but we expect that the motorcade is going to arrive any moment. And what it's doing is it'll be coming out of the 3rd Street tunnel and then coming facing at us. And as you're looking at the screen there, it'll be making a left-hand turn into the courthouse. This is what the president did last time. I mean, he's the former president, but with all this security, it's as if he is the current president. Usually former presidents have some Secret Service protection, but for an appearance like this, there is a lot more police presence for the former president's arrival. But unlike the last time he was here some months ago for his arraignment on the indictment on these election interference charges, and we hope this white van gets out of our way shortly here, there were a lot of people out here. There were a lot of demonstrators, people with signs, just kind of like, like an interest of the fact that the former president was here and going to court. Today, mainly because of the weather, we just haven't seen anybody. There's a lot of media and a lot of police and others who have other business in the courthouse coming and going, but really just no members of the general public out here to see this, what, some might call a spectacle. It's not that today. And we expect any moment we'll see the short motorcade arriving here at the courthouse here at 3rd and Pennsylvania Avenue. The former president arrived last night. He flew into Dulles Airport, and we believe that he stayed at his golf resort over in Sterling, Virginia, and is coming here from there. Of course, the Iowa caucuses are on Monday, so we believe soon after the president wraps up what should be a brief hearing before these 3 appellate court judges, these judges of the appellate court here, that the president will leave town. We don't know his destination. Will he go back to Iowa and campaign? Will he head to his place in Florida? We're just not sure, guys. But this is where we'll see him briefly, ideally shortly.
Obviously, it's an interesting strategy when it comes to this. This is the type of court situation, and Katie will tell you this as well, where typically, the person who is under, the microscope here would not attend this type of court appearance. This is the kind of thing your attorney would show up. You don't have the opportunity to speak in the court. You're just an observer. Former President Trump decided that he wanted to be there today, and some say, Bob, this was a chance to kind of bolster his base by making an appearance there. But if nobody is showing up, does that still help in that occurrence?
I'm not sure because, you know, we're really not going to see him outside. It's because his motorcade will come here kind of underneath that building here. You've got the Labor Department on the right and the federal courthouse on the left. His motorcade's going to quickly go right inside. And so the public out here, if there was anybody, wouldn't really see him. What he did last time was he made a statement at the airport when he was leaving town. But, yeah, I mean, he does not have to be here. It's his lawyers and the special counsel, Jack Smith, who are going to be making the arguments. But like he's done in the New York City courtroom on those charges there, he's going to be sitting at the table and watching what's going on and, yeah, ideally getting some political support out of it. And here I see some, let's hang here 1 second. This is the first time I've seen a car heading this way. I don't know if that's the beginning of the motorcade. I think it is, guys. So there you see, that's the presidential motorcade, former presidential motorcade showing up right here, right now.
All right, and it does look like, Bob, is that the same?
It's going to be short, and he goes.
Yeah, is that the same direction that they went into the court last time?
Yes, it is. They just pop out of the 3rd Street tunnel, kind of come left, facing us as they did, and headed left here. That's west into the courthouse. There's kind of an underground garage. So, like, his exposure to the people is nothing because the street is blocked off, unlike last time. But that motorcade will hang a quick left and go underground and beneath the courthouse. We will not see him out here in the rainy air.
All right, Bob Barnett, thank you very much. Outside the court this morning, and we will